personer som tar över. Jag är med sig själva i blurren. Men Welcome to the show. It is Monday, February 27th in the year of our Lord 2017 and all the things. Things are breaking, things are falling.
Yay!
There's breaking and all the
It's
stuff.
a Weirdlings production.
It is a Weirdlings production. What would it be like if you went to this channel to see something and something didn't break? You wouldn't know where you were.
It wouldn't be near as fun.
No, it wouldn't be nearly as
I
fun.
like a little, as we noticed last night, I like a little bit of chaos in my life. Maybe a lot.
A lot of chaos in your life. You were super twitchy. Don't break things. Don't break things.
Be nice, swear cat.
It's gentle. It's gentle.
I pet it. It's fine. It's happy now.
We have so much to talk about. Well, actually, and I'm not sure how much we have to talk about. We have some interesting things to talk about, and we're just going to jump into it because we'll see how it goes. But the first thing I want to talk about is, the Academy Awards were last night. The 89th Annual Academy Awards.
89th? Was it 89th? That means
89th.
next year's 90th.
Next year is the 90th Academy Awards.
That's incredible.
That is kind of incredible. 89 years they've been giving these awards out, and it's been an interesting 89 years. No lack of controversy or discussion.
Nope.
And last night was no different. Why? And let's start off first. Moonlight deservedly won the Best Picture Oscar last night. Congratulations, everyone, for Moonlight. It was a well-deserved win and a historic win.
Yeah.
This was an all-African-American cast that won. It's the first time that has ever happened. This is a very diverse production, and it won, and it's a good thing that it won for many reasons. The controversy, though, was that they announced La La Land first.
Well, no, they not just first. La La Land incorrectly first.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Right? There was like a complete mix-up in cards. Like there was a backstage situation where. So, latest breaking news, according to Elizabeth, that she just read. Home chick backstage on that side of the stage. So they have two cards on each side of the stage, depending on where the person's going to be. Mm-hmm. So they have two cards. Was tweeting a picture with Emma Stone and just handed off the wrong card.
No, that's actually what happened. She was tweeting. Oh, God.
Yeah, post has been taken down from Twitter, but you know how the internet is. It has been.
Oh, my God. How do you. Oh, God. Well, okay, she's fired.
It's just.
I hope she's not.
I hope she's. I mean, it's just. Come on, you've got an important job to do. Put it aside. Yeah, if you're working it, if you're not working social media at an event like this,
you're wrong.
You don't.
But I understand if I was sitting there with Emma Stone, I would want to take a picture with Emma Stone too.
I don't know if she was taking a picture with Emma Stone or if she was just trying. I think she was giving Emma Stone the card so that Emma could take a picture, and she was taking it for Emma.
Okay.
There was some deal, but either case, and I feel like if you're not the social media person at an event like this, politely invite Emma Stone to the social media person at an event like this.
That's true, yeah.
There is a person who's in charge usually of that kind of stuff.
I mean, what it boils down to is that they handed the wrong card to Faye Dunaway and I forgot his name. Oh, God. Warren Beatty.
There you go. I was like, it's a W and a B. It's a W and a B.
They gave him the wrong card. And you could tell Warren Beatty was he said, oh, this isn't right. Oh, crap. What do I do? You could tell when that was happening that he knew this wasn't right, but then she ended up reading the name anyway, and then all chaos pursued. Now, do want to say the producer for La La Land handled it perfectly. He went up there after that and was like, guys, no, there's been a mistake. Moonlight won.
Yep.
And chaos. Everybody, there's a ton of pictures of people in the crowd that were going through this one, what is actually happening? Oh, God. It's big news with the Academy stuff because that is the emotional roller coaster for the people in La La Land to go up on stage and they're holding the award.
The emotional roller coaster for everybody. Because when you don't win as well, you're excited for your people you worked with and they've all worked with each other at some point, right? Yeah. So you're excited for your friends, but at the same time you still feel disappointment that you lost. So you're and then all of a sudden you find out you win and just. There was a huge emotional roller coaster, but Jonathan Horowitz, he really champed up. And if you were looking for an example of how to just lose politely, that's how you do it. You just say, hey, look, no, the group over at Moonlight won this. Give it to them. Listen, that's a great example of, hey, look, you don't make a big production over it. You just move on. An accident happened, but you know what? You'd be happy for the person who did win.
And they both were. There have been statements coming out from both of the productions that have been very gracious and everything.
Yep.
What is it? Mahershala Ali who was a part of Moonlight and actually is also part of Luke Cage.
Yes.
He had a great statement about this. It was talking about how much La La Land has given so many people who needed some light in their life. And both sides have been saying things like this. And it really was a gracious moment for both people to come in. There are some people that are saying it's controversial. It's not. It's really not to me. It's two really deserving movies were up for an amazing award. There was a mistake, and they fixed it.
Yep.
And congratulations to Moonlight for winning that. And congratulations to Emma Stone for winning for La La Land. Sorry, I have strong opinions about that one right there. I was a big fan of her performance in that movie, so I was very, very happy.
I like Emma Stone. I think it was a great competition between these two films. Obviously, they were both up for most of the same categories. And you're gonna feel strongly one way or the other about who wins.
Sure. Yeah.
But I am glad. I think everybody who won for a reason.
Well, yeah.
And for a good reason. So
they're all amazing films. I was talking last night, and there have been a lot of great movies this year.
Yep.
There have just been a lot of really, really strong performances, great movies all around, from La La Land to Moonlight to Fences. I mean, there have been so many amazing films this year. We're in a really good place. Now, it doesn't change my perspective that I've had for several years, and a lot of people would agree with me that television is in its golden age right now. There's probably better stories in general on television, but movies have been great this year.
Yep.
And this was a good celebration of it. I mean, you can talk about the production and all the stuff you want, but it's been a great celebration of these things. Having said that, this was groundbreaking Academy Awards for a few other reasons as well.
Yeah.
One of the reasons is that a couple of online properties, I guess you would call them, won their first Academy Awards. To begin with, Netflix won their first Academy Award for a documentary called Black Helmets.
Yeah.
This is an online Netflix.
Yeah, no, it's really just amazing to see. I mean, Netflix has been vying for an Oscar for a long time. They've been working for it, and they just hadn't quite gotten there yet. So to finally have one in hand that's theirs is an amazing thing. That means online productions are finally really being seen as legitimate and real, and being recognized by peers in the industry.
Well, yeah, I think that it's kind of Netflix. I mean, let's be realistic. What Netflix started off was was a place to get DVDs shipped to your house. That's what Netflix started out as. So for you to say oh, Netflix, big deal. Now they're in the same categories as the HBOs and everybody that have consistently won a lot of big awards at these shows. The other online property that won an Academy Award was Amazon, won for Manchester by the Sea with all of their stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be realistic. Amazon did not produce Manchester by the Sea. Amazon Studios came in to distribute Manchester by the Sea.
But I think the awards they got speak to that. Screenplay and actor, right? So screenplay, they'll speak to elements of the production, but not the production house necessarily itself, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, well, okay.
Does that make sense? It's documentary, obviously, Netflix would have a hand as a production house in how that went.
Right.
Screenplay, I guess Amazon would have maybe had that, but it speaks more to the screenwriter itself, right?
They actually had nothing to do with it because this movie premiered at Sundance.
Oh.
And in distribution after the fact, Amazon came in and purchased rights to help distribute. And there are actually a few companies that went through and helped with the distribution of Manchester by the Sea. So while Amazon technically was involved in a production that got an Academy Award, you're not quite there, Amazon.
No.
And I mean, that's okay. Amazon has really been pushing to get into more production work over the past several years.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon Studios has been doing a lot of stuff. I have a few issues with some of their things. When they first announced some of their originals, the way they were going about getting originals was not, in my opinion, the most favorable for creators. And I think that they still have to figure out where they are in the world in terms of originals. But they are getting there because they do have the Man in High Castle. They have some amazing originals that they are working on. They're just not quite there with the film aspect of things. I think Netflix is getting into it. We'll talk about a film that Netflix has coming out soon a little bit later. But Netflix is definitely jumping into that world. Kind of related to this because Twitch is owned by Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Twitch has kind of made an announcement. Are they kind of taken on Steam?
A little bit. They've definitely made a vie towards creating content, or not creating content, creating a platform to distribute video games. So they have created their own little launcher, and that launcher, like, if you are an Amazon Prime member, you are probably a Twitch Prime member, which means you have access to this launcher prior. You have games that you can add to your launcher. But Twitch is attempting to now distribute video games. They are going to be teaming up with production companies and production houses and with streamers, and allow streamers to get content for video games they sell, or money for video games they sell, allow viewers to both help their streamer friends as well as cheer them on and get more extra stuff with their video games by purchasing a game they're going to buy anyway.
Right.
And production houses are going to be able to team up like in a more intimate way with like the streamers that are promoting their stuff already. So what's nice about this is it automatically creates a connection between the like video game creator and the streamer without having to go through like the mediums of talking to their marketing person and getting that relationship set up. Streamers just need to stream a game, and on their platform, if you are a partnered streamer, you will have on there, hey, purchase this game, and 5% of that purchase of that revenue share will go to the streamer, and the viewer gets a little package as well. Like they're going to get like bits and all kinds of little fun stuff as well. So it's a neat little relationship, but it's definitely, they are going for Steam hard. They're going for Steam hard, and I think it's about time.
And that's an interesting conversation. I mean, to touch first of all on some of the things we're talking about here, I like the fact that the Twitch launcher automatically ties in whatever the streamer is streaming, so they can, if you're watching a stream that somebody's streaming, you can say, I want that game, buy. It's on your Twitch launcher. You buy.
Yeah.
Like, that is smart play. That is a really, really smart play, and that to me. It speaks some to how Twitch has really kind of embraced their experience in the online space.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking earlier about YouTube gaming, because YouTube gaming, back in the day, Google was looking to buy Twitch, and there was a bidding war going on at the time, and Amazon actually came out of nowhere. This was a last-minute thing where Amazon came in and ended up buying Twitch out from underneath Google. It was big news at the time. Yeah. Google ended up launching YouTube gaming, and they have still not figured out YouTube gaming. It's so frustrating to me that you have a platform like it, you can't figure it out. Whereas Twitch, they're like, hey, not only can you watch these streams, hey, let's tie in this market. Let's figure out a way that we can sell this. Let's add to the bottom line. Let's help the streamers out here. That 5%, you buy a $60 game, you get 5% at $60. That's not bad for just somebody clicking on there. That's a pretty good deal, and it's giving value to the streamer as well. So I think that there's a lot to be said for what Twitch is doing and how they're really taking advantage of their place within the marketplace and their experience within the streaming space as well. So it's good. Now, is it time for somebody to take on Steam, and is this a good competition for Steam?
I think if anybody is going to take on Steam, it's going to be somebody who's big like Twitch. There has been other platforms like itch.io competes with Steam across like indie production houses. So if you've not heard of itch.io, they allow indie developers to alpha and beta and like start getting their game produced out there. And as an indie developer, you get to choose the production share, like how much money you get based upon how much money itch.io gets. It's really smart. It makes it easier for, indie companies to get the money they need, because Steam is notoriously a little bit harder on smaller companies. But like they can't ever get the same foothold. They're not going to have the same funding. Twitch has the funding, Twitch has the medium, Twitch has the access, Twitch has the publishers. Like there are publishers that are already streaming their own games on Twitch just to get outreach out there, just to get people, like Digital Extremes, the creators of Warframe, they have hundreds or thousands of people who watch them weekly for their update stream. Why wouldn't they say, oh, there's a little thing that you can purchase for Digital Extremes if they're looking into getting a not free-to-play game?
Yeah.
Like, it's an incredible opportunity to, like, it just feels like the right combination that could punch against Steam. And competition's good. Competition usually means you have to innovate to continue being better.
Well, and that's true, and that's one of the things that I think is killing YouTube gaming right now, because they are not innovating in the space. Just back to what I was saying. This is an innovation for Twitch in the grand scheme of things. Twitch is really innovating in the space right now. They are looking at what's happening in the future. They are embracing that right now. And I think that is going to be valuable for them.
Yep.
I am a little concerned about market penetration because the market penetration as far as, I mean, Steam is in the market. Steam owns that market right now pretty heavily. Yeah, Twitch is out there, but I mean, I have had the opportunity, because I am also a Twitch Prime member and Amazon Prime and everything like that. I could get the Twitch launcher, but I haven't. I am concerned about how that is going to actually work. Are they going to have the market penetration to make that happen?
I really think they are. I think they've already got the market penetration. They're just now utilizing it. And they're being smart about it, and they haven't pushed it until, honestly, I feel like they've waited until they made sure they had something solid. So Twitch is known to be a little bit twitchy at times. I think they're making a point because of how big this is to make sure that it gets pushed out correctly. They don't want this to be twitchy when they're dealing with such big market holders.
I just like the fact you keep saying twitchy when you're talking about Twitch.
Because
me twitchy with the twitch and the twitching.
Because Twitch can be twitchy sometimes. Twitch will push out updates every once in a while, and it will make you go,
it'll be super weird.
What just happened?
And they have actually been kind of stepping into this slowly, because if you are a Twitch Prime member, you do get some things. Every once in a while, you'll get extra stuff for games.
Or a game or whatever,
like So I mean, they've been doing this for a while. So we'll see how this goes. This is going to be interesting to see how it works. But again, this is Twitch kind of innovating in the space. YouTube gaming has been falling behind in the grand scheme of things. But I will say, and this kind of goes into the conversation we were having last week, we were talking about the business of the YouTube world and everything. YouTube has announced that they are going to start sharing audits of their views and their impressions with companies that then track that for marketers. Now, this is kind of like into the weeds as far as like the business of YouTube goes. But one of the problems that YouTube and online creators in general have had in this space is, how do you effectively market what you're doing, and then how do you prove to advertisers that they're getting real value for their investment in you? The whole space is really fractured in terms of how to do that. Like, the official count of what a view is going to be different on Facebook, on YouTube, on wherever you are. For a while, Facebook, and I don't know if this is still the way, but Facebook, for a view to count, it was 2 seconds. I don't know if you've been on Facebook recently, folks, but as you're on Facebook and you're scrolling through, that video automatically starts playing, and by the time you've scrolled through it, it's 2 seconds, but they've been counting that as a view. Not even an impression, a view.
Yeah, like as in like you watched it.
You watched it, hey. You didn't watch crap, are you kidding me?
Nope.
YouTube has been a little different. They've been about 30 seconds. 30 seconds will be considered an actual view, even though you may not see the whole thing. So this is very interesting to me that YouTube is seeing the problem and doing something to try to give more confidence to these advertisers to invest in this space.
Do you think this is also in an effort to be more transparent about those numbers as well, or not? Because I think transparency is a big problem in the advertiser space for like online media in general. Like the people who have brand deals, they're the ones who know like they have something going on and that's good for them. But like everything else is like, oh, well, I did well this month and I did okay. But what your okay is completely different than, you know, Joe Channel over here's okay.
Right. There's a lot of fuzziness in the YouTube space and the advertising space, just in general, for all that content. So the whole being transparent is a big thing. Like I was just saying about what the view counts were and how they measured a view. For the longest time, these companies didn't actually tell you what it took for them to count a view. They're like, what's a view? They're like, well, we have our internal demographic. No, what's a view?
No, seriously.
I would want to know this stuff. So I think that this is a big deal for the creators in the space and also the companies in the space to be able to say, like, look, this is actionable data that you can then take to these brands that are wanting to advertise in the space and then say, hey, this is legit. So I mean, I think that it's important for them to do it. All this information is going to ad managers, by the way. This isn't going to individual creators. So it's not something that's going to directly affect us. Like me looking at YouTube analytics, I'm not going to be able to see what kind of impressions or anything that we've got. That's okay. I think that if this does go to ad managers, they can then take that information and then give that to those brands and then say, hey, this is legit.
You can spend more money here or whatever. I mean, we know the price of Super Bowl ads. It's only fair.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's only fair that becomes a little bit more transparent, and not so wishy-washy, timey-wimey, wobbly bits.
God. I mean, it's big, and I think that's another example of how the space is changing. Another example of how the space is changing, which actually brings us back to last week. You may have remembered when I went on to Camera 3 and I was ranting about the CEO of Awesomeness TV.
Do we want to go to Camera 3 again?
I don't know if I'm ready for Camera 3 yet. I don't know. We'll see. Brian Robbins, who was the CEO of Awesomeness TV, resigned. Like 2 days after we talked about this, he sent a memo out to the company at Awesomeness TV saying that he was resigning to pursue other things. This is really interesting to me for many, many reasons, and I'm not sure. Like, I could spend an hour, guys. Seriously, I could spend an hour talking. I'm not going to spend an hour talking.
We don't have an hour.
We don't have an hour talking.
We don't have an hour.
But I mean, this is really interesting. And the more research I've done on this, the more I realize this is not a huge surprise.
No.
So Jeffrey Katzenberg, who started Awesomeness TV with Brian Robbins, actually left earlier, has started another company called WonderCo that already has $600 million in seed funding. What?
Oh, it's the startup game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's okay. I get it. So this happens in the startup field. It's like you get that person who's either got the idea or the money, or both. Depends. And they go to the company, they get it to a certain point, and then they go immediately over to take more money and bring up another company to a certain level and then hop. It's like you start up hop until you get the money that makes you feel good, or you bust. It's like a game of stocks almost.
Oh, it really is. I wouldn't even say almost.
It is.
It's what it is.
So that's what it feels like. It feels like this is definitely just it's like the startup. It's like the tech world startup game, but in media space.
Yeah, and it's just getting worse because this happened not long after. So DreamWorks owns a majority stake in Awesomeness TV. DreamWorks was recently bought by Comcast, and this all happened not long after Comcast bought DreamWorks. So now Comcast owns a majority in Awesomeness TV, and they were going. Verizon also owns a part of this, by the way. Verizon's in this mix too. This is this weird, incestuous world, and I feel like that we are going through this phase of acquisitions and consolidations right now. Because there were so many, if you look back at the digital space years back, there were so many places that you could go and so many places that were being created. They're all being sucked into this one big Comcast-y monster, and Comcast is monster. Anyways. This one big Comcast-y monster. They're all being sucked into it. That was funny. I just saw that pop on. Sorry. They're all being sucked into this thing, and we are really going through this phase of consolidation. But the fact that Katzenberg is going out and already getting $600 million in the seed funding, the fact that Brian Robbins has gone out and he is going to pursue other ventures, we may be seeing the next phase of that, which is going to be the fragmentation phase. Mm-hmm. You know, we had all these MCNs being bought by massive companies, just consolidating in, whether it was Maker, whether it was Awesomeness, whether it was whoever, because there's Awesomeness, there's Wonderly, all these things being bought up at the time. Are we seeing another fracturing out and another growth of independent companies again? Who knows? But it is going to be a cycle. There's going to be acquisitions and consolidation, then it's going to be innovators coming in there and making new stuff, and we're going to have another round of consolidations again. It's going to happen. I'm not sure where we are, but this whole thing with Awesomeness, it's just weird to me. I feel like new media is getting in and doing what they know, and I'm not sure it's working yet. I'm just not sure it's working. But I found it interesting that 2 days after we talked about this, Brian Robbins.
Yeah. Maybe he heard you. Maybe he's like, oh, yep, this is my cue to do something else.
He did. Brian, hey, I'm glad I could be that source for you. I'm so glad that I can give you your life advice and really help you in your career. I'll take that 10% whenever you want to send me that check.
Whenever.
You just send me that check, 10%. Anybody else out there, Jeffrey Katzenberg, if you need help, you just let me know.
Anybody needs some just like really good grounded criticism. We got it.
I'll give you that. I will say also, Jeffrey Katzenberg is a luminary in the space. He's been around for a long time. I'm really curious what's going to happen with WonderCo. $600 million already in there. It's very interesting to see where that's going to happen. But we have other things to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
Some sad news, actually.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton passed away. just the other day at the age of, what was he, 61?
61. Oh, I should have written that down.
I
Yeah.
can't believe I didn't write that. I'm pretty sure it was 61.
Yeah, to me, it felt like, I think the most surprising part was I was like, that's not.
No. This was a real surprise. It was complications from a surgery, and I don't think anyone expected it. I mean, they always say there's complications when you have surgery. It's really true.
Yep.
And this was an unfortunate event. I don't know any more details. I'm not sure they've really put out anything.
And I don't think I really want to know any more details.
Yeah.
What I do want to remember is how many great movies he made, because he was prolific in the film space. He made great films, Apollo 13 and Aliens and Predator. I mean, he was great in everything I saw him in. I really enjoyed everything I saw him in. And you were telling me that they're like not just a great actor, also a great human.
Yeah, if you spend some time looking around at all of the people that were talking about Bill Paxton, inevitably you are going to see people talking about what an amazing person he was. I was reading, there was something, I think it was on Instagram or Twitter the other day. Mayim Bialik was talking about how she was at a party, and at LA party, if you've never been, it's a weird thing. But she was kind of in the corner, kind of feeling uncomfortable, and Bill Paxton apparently saw her, didn't know who she was, but just came over and said, hey, come sit and talk with me, just being a nice guy, just to hang out and make her feel comfortable in that space. And that's just one story that you're going to hear from anyone that had anything to do with the person. My Facebook feed has been filled up with people who have maybe, they've been on set, they've met him on something, they've worked with him on something, and just what an amazing person he is. And by God, there's real value in that. And that's worth mentioning and celebrating so much, because you don't have a ton of people that are universally loved like that.
Yep.
So even with all of his prolific career, he was a good person, and it's going to be a loss. It's going to be a real loss.
Yep.
He was recently in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too, which is one of my favorite shows on TV. Sorry, I had to throw in that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reference on there. So, our condolences to the Paxton family out there. This is a sad time. We've lost a lot of really iconic figures over the past year X plus or something like that. The slow motion rapture is continuing. It just keeps
There's
happening.
a big old party somewhere.
Somebody's having a big party.
A big party.
Prince and David Bowie are headlining this thing, and it's
there's a big old party hanging out somewhere.
That's gonna be a great party. Moving on to other things, and actually, Bill Paxton was in Aliens.
Yeah,
That kind
speaking
of
of
leads me
aliens,
in to the next thing. NASA.
Oh, wrong thing.
What were you?
Different aliens.
NASA recently announced that they have found 7 planets in orbit around the TRAPPIST system that could potentially hold life. It's amazing news.
It's so crazy. So 7 planets within that could contain water. That alone is like an epic find. And then you find out that there are 3 hanging out just outside of the heat of the sun enough to be habitable. And probably, there is a possibility that the other 4 could be habitable, but not necessarily. It's hard to say. That would be life not as we know it. So we are proclaiming this as life as we know it could exist in the 3 planets a little further out from the sun.
That's in the habitable zone for what we are familiar with as being alive. Yeah. But, I mean, just the fact liquid water existing on these planets, that is kind of the basis for what we think of as carbon-based life as we know it and everything like that. So the fact that they found 7 planets in a star that is not that far away, 40 light years. 40 light years, folks. That's it.
I mean, that's, oh my gosh.
It's a neighbor.
That is the planetary neighbor, really. That's planetary neighbor.
I mean, I think our closest neighbor is what, 23 light years or something?
Yeah,
something like that.
So it's like the neighbor next door to next door.
2 doors down.
And you wouldn't ask necessarily for sugar from this neighbor, but you would go hang out at the group party.
Maybe so. Yeah, you have the block party. They're invited. They're hanging out with you. They're doing the things like that.
That's so cool. And whenever scientific achievements happen, my brain always racks with the fact that this is a worldwide, especially when it comes to space, worldwide event. It's always scientists across multiple continents that had to get together, work through this data together, they cross-check each other, and that's why I love science so much, because it's one thing that everybody can talk about across the countries, because we're all working from the same scientific principles, and we all get to discover things together.
Right. I mean, this is not something that you can like deny or politicize or anything like this. It's
no.
like,
Science happened, and it's beautiful.
it's beautiful. And I love some of the, here's one thing, okay, the science nerd in me and the sci-fi nerd in me is like really freaking out because I just love the name of this system, the TRAPPIST system. I mean, we can legitimately say things like, we're going to send a probe to the TRAPPIST system. This is like freaking Star Wars in real life, people. I mean, this is like, oh,
it's like your Expanse dreams coming true.
My Expanse dreams are kind of coming true, which is still an amazing show. The last episode was kind of awesome and weird, but it was cool.
Have you noticed that there's also been this like anthropomorphizing of all of the awesome planets? Even in the NASA video, there was like 2 eyes on the sun, and then like Google created the cutest little like doodle for it.
They're waving at the telescope.
Yeah,
it's great. I love that kind of stuff. The one thing I will say, okay, first of all, this might be a camera 3 moment because I need to talk real.
Okay.
I just need to talk real for a minute.
Okay.
So the TRAPPIST system was named after the telescope where they actually discovered these planets. It was the TRAPPIST telescope and everything like that. So, I mean, that's cool. You named the planets A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I mean, come on. Is that really the best you can do, science? World, of all the people out there, is the best you can do A, B, C, D, F, G. You couldn't have named one something cool. You couldn't have named it, I don't know, anything. What's a good planet name? You could be, if you're a Avatar fan, call it Pandora for all I care. Give us a name. I want to go to the TRAPPIST system so that I can visit the planet Endor. Maybe not Endor, because Endor is kind of weird. But you need to get better names on these planets, science. Just get better names on these planets. That's probably my least passionate rant ever, but I needed to let you know that I'm disappointed in your naming skills. I've said enough.
I want comments at the end of this video, like go to the YouTube page once this is archived, comments tomorrow at noon, name planets A, B, C, D, name them. I name them, and then I'm gonna start a registry, much like those star registries that aren't really star registries.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna start selling slots.
Can we do that?
Yeah, I mean they are just all scams.
It's amazing.
They're the best. Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. I love that idea. All
right, the Weirdlings Planet Registry.
I do want to say a couple of things about the science on this, and I know we've probably been talking about this a while, but I really want to say how much I love the science behind how they did this. I mean, they figured it out by transiting, which is basically seeing how much the light from a star dims as a planet goes across it. These things are 40 million light years away. Not 40 million, 40 light years away. Because 40 million. That's not
a neighbor anymore. That's
40 light years away.
Distant cousin.
Yeah. The other neat thing about this is a red dwarf sun. And they're saying, interestingly enough, is that they're focusing a lot of their studies on red dwarfs because they're so cool. You can actually see the planets through the transit. If it's a sun like ours, it's pretty hot, and the light from that sun's completely obliterating anything. You're not going to be able to notice that as much. So going through these red dwarfs, you can see this information. And here's the other really cool thing I love about this. All 7 of these planets would fit within the orbit of Mercury. They're so close to this sun. All 7 of them would fit within the orbit of Mercury. That just blows my mind. And they're still in that star's habitable zone. I love it.
I wonder what the weather would be like. Like, are we talking beach weather, or is it a little too hot?
That's another thing. There was so much stuff about this. They're saying they're so close together. Like, the distance, when they're at their closest point, then they're like 3 times the distance from the Earth to the Moon.
Oh, so you could just hop, skip, and jump to the next planet.
You'd be like, another planet.
I'm gonna take a vacation over to planet F for a moment.
See how stupid that sounds, science? See how stupid that sounds? Come on. Yeah, but that's basically what it is. I mean, it's just amazing. It's like, oh, there's a planet. Cool. Let's go to that planet. I'm just so geeking out about this stuff. It's not even funny how geeking out.
Elon will take us there.
And Elon will take us there. Because Elon Musk, this is breaking news.
Breaking
today. On there.
He hinted at it in the middle of the Oscars.
He did. And this is what he hinted at. He hinted at the fact that next year, he is going to be taking 2 space tourists on a round trip around the moon. What?
Watch out, Virgin. Watch out, Virgin.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, SpaceX may be going into the space tourism a little bit.
I mean, he's got to... Well, here's the thing. Elon has to test his desire to get to Mars. Like, he wants to travel people to Mars. And you can't really do scientific manned missions that aren't ISS related right now. So what that means is you have to go into the tourism business. If you want to test how things are going to work with people in your ships going around, you have to get into tourism right now because you can't get the funding for the science stuff.
Yeah, and I mean realistically, it makes sense to me in a lot.
Yeah.
Now I'm not an engineer. I can't make spaceships. If I could make spaceships, I would be flying right now. But I can't make spaceships. But what I know is that they've got the tech right now to get stuff in orbit. Mm-hmm. It's not that much harder to shift that orbit to go around the moon at this point and then come back.
But what was hard until recently, until Elon started proving that he could return his rockets, was paying for that. Like the cost of that was not like you couldn't find buyers of that.
Right.
Now we're getting to the point, since Elon is getting to the point where he can like pretty reliably get the most expensive part of his shuttles back. Now tourism might actually start to be profitable, which means you can start putting that profit towards building better things.
Right, and apparently the people that are going on this trip have already made significant deposits.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, this is something that is...
And life insurance policies, and like we're not even going to talk about the paperwork involved.
The waivers that have to be signed at this point have to be vast. The number of waivers has just got to be
like insane. 4 lawyers on each side or more.
But who cares? Space tourism, going to the moon. I mean, I will never be rich enough to see this happen. Damn it. But the fact that we're getting to the point where some people are able to actually go in space and do this, I mean, seriously, the nerdy, geeky part of me is just so happy with this news right now. I can't even begin.
So am I.
I want to invest in SpaceX right now. I'm going to find a way to buy SpaceX stuff.
Might be hard to do, but I do have a buddy who works at SpaceX. Well, I have.
Shut your mouth.
I might have a buddy who has a brother who works at SpaceX, but it's close enough. Close enough.
It's like Kevin Bacon.
Like Kevin Bacon.
Separation.
I'm gonna ignore Kevin Bacon and move right on to some anime news.
Because that's the best way to make that transition.
Yeah,
Kevin
it is.
Bacon, we've got Elon Musk to Kevin Bacon. Anime!
For those of you who do or don't know, Full Metal Alchemist is coming out with a live action version of the show. So Full Metal Alchemist has had 2 versions of the show thus far. It's had the original anime that came out in the early 2000s. It's had the secondary anime, which is now the way you have to do things, which is shorter than the first anime because we now have more refined palettes and we require our storylines to be much more condensed and better. And now we are doing a live action version of the show. Normally, I'm not excited about live action anime. Normally, I'm not. But what I have enjoyed about this trailer and the latest and greatest image of Alphonse is the fact that it looks like they paid for good special effects. Normally, from my experience with Japanese live action, the special effects are not that great. But this one looks like it paid for really good special effects. It looks like it's going to be fun. And it's all speaking to my nostalgia buttons. So I'm really excited for this. I have a feeling there's going to be a film service situation that I'm going to have to put together. I'm just going to rally up the gals and be like, we're doing this.
Now, we were talking about this earlier, because when I saw the trailer for this, I mean, I admit it, I am not an anime fan. I mean, I don't dislike anime.
Yeah, it's just not.
It's just never really something that I've watched, except for Attack on Titan, which, that's so awesome. Now, having said that, looking at this trailer, it seems very clear that this trailer is aimed at the current fans of Full Metal Alchemist, because I was significantly underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just nothing there. You barely saw any faces. It was just somebody with a coat on and then a bunch of rocks bubbling up or something. I don't have a frame of reference for that, which I'm assuming that big fans of Full Metal Alchemist are like, oh my god, that's the thing that happens when the stuff happens. Cool, great. I was so underwhelmed. You put that on there and I'm like,
Well, and what also doesn't help is it's a non-speaking trailer, so there's no dialogue. True. It's also, the captions aren't translated, so that's fun. If you don't know what's going, I'm assuming it's coming soon to a theater near you.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist. I'm sure that's what's happening, but it's not translated, so you can't be sure unless you know Japanese, which I don't yet.
What? I am disappointed in you, Mary.
I know verbally, but not reading, and it's still a work in progress. We're all works in progress, folks. But this live action anime. Sorry, I'm just thinking about all the live action animes that were really bad. Death Note's awful. Sailor Moon has fans. The live action Sailor Moon has fans, but it's not loved.
Wait, there's a live action Sailor Moon?
Oh, Mark.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to make of that news. That's actually a thing that exists, and I have never seen it. I'm not even a Sailor Moon fan, but just the fact that there might be a live action Sailor Moon out there, I just feel like I need to experience 5 minutes of it to go.
Yeah,
oh my God.
This is happening after stream. Like after stream, I'm like definitely shooting. It's gloriously awful.
Now I have another question because you mentioned Death Note live action. There's another Death Note live action that's in production right now. I'm assuming that's different than the one you're talking about.
So there was a live action series that recently got done. The reason why, in my opinion, it's awful, outside of just like it's a teledrama for like, and if you've never watched a Japanese teledramas in Japan are very much like soap operas in the United States or telenovelas. Yep, that's the other one I was going for. It's definitely this strong acting, but they changed the storyline of like in a very key way that upsets me greatly about Death Note. So I can't ever be a fan of that, no matter how deep it goes.
Again, not being an anime fan, I really don't have the frame of reference for that. I mean, I'm willing to give anything a shot. I'll watch. Well, I won't watch anything. There are some things that I won't watch.
You're going to watch 5 minutes of the live-action Sailor Moon anime.
I am shocked that exists.
Oh,
how did I not know
it's
this?
Beautiful.
Is it beautiful?
It's in the most awful of ways, yes.
In the worst way possible.
Yeah, did you know there's also a transgendered Sailor Moon?
I did not know that.
So Sailor Star, okay, I'm going to get super nerdy about this, but there's so much.
So much out there. Speaking of beautiful things that are out there, we do want to talk a little bit about the fact, and I don't even know if this is a surprise, but Hayao Miyazaki is no longer retired.
Miyazaki.
Are we surprised by this, though?
Oh, Captain, my Captain. No, I am not surprised because he's a creator at heart, and he's always been a creator at heart. He is the type of person that's always going to have stories. Like, I know he has stories he probably will never produce. He has more stories that he wants to produce. And the overheard conversation that prompted this excitement is the fact that he said he was retired, and then he went to his production company and said, hey, I've got this idea, and they met, and the production company's like, if I tell him yes, we're going to bring him out of retirement for this. If I tell him no, even though it's a good film, he'll get to enjoy his retirement. But I can't lie, it's an interesting film.
So here's my question for you, because you mentioned in there when you're saying this, and this was relatively new to me. I did not know that this was going on. When you mentioned this, you said it was an overheard conversation.
I don't know if it was overheard or, it's really weird. It was framed through 3 Twitter things. He's a media guy. It's not right. I think it was an interview. So this is
real. This isn't
this isn't just some rando. This is
guy at a coffee shop.
This was a media guy. I have the links. I'll have all the links to the things. It's a media guy. I think he was interviewing the production team and it was brought up this way.
Okay, all right.
I don't have all of the context, and when you have Twitter and 140 characters, you lose a lot of context.
It's just as soon as you said overheard, I literally imagined a guy at a coffee shop. Hey, that guy looks like Miyazaki. What are they talking about?
No,
I shouldn't be retired. Oh my God, Miyazaki's making stuff.
No, but there is, so y'all, here's why we need another Miyazaki film. We need another Miyazaki film because Miyazaki does an amazing job at telling a story and bringing just amazing characters to life in a way that speaks about what's going on in the world. And Miyazaki's going to do that, I have no doubt right now, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be well voiced, and it's going to be well loved, because what Miyazaki does great is, even though he's always telling a moral or something that he wants to get across as an opinion, you can, if you want to, you can check out of that entirely and just enjoy it. You really can. And I think, to me, that's good storytelling. Good storytelling will look at the young and say, hey, look, this is a great story. We'll let the older people look at that conversation and be like, oh, he was really saying this, and this was what was happening. And Miyazaki's like, yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. And he's also always got, his character development's so great. Like, I don't know of many animators that can tell a story and character development in the same fashion. Like, he doesn't ever rely on tropes. He doesn't ever rely on, like, you having some knowledge about the magical anime world. He will give it to you all. You just need to experience it and take it in.
I mean, I will say Miyazaki's films are visually stunning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you've never taken the time to actually watch a Miyazaki film, totally find some good ones. What's the best one? Is it Howls? Should I look at Howls or
I think Spirited Away is.
Spirited Away.
I think Spirited Away, as far as like, it's not my favorite one, but I think Spirited Away is the one that I would introduce everyone to Miyazaki.
It's very accessible.
It's very accessible.
I think it's a good pick. So look at Spirited Away and just kind of take that in. It's a beautiful film, and all of his films just have that beauty to them.
Yep.
I think it's very interesting that he's coming back. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, feel bad for the guy. He wants to retire, but he's just got so many stories in his brain space, he just can't not tell the stories. I'm really interested in how this plays out. I wonder if it's real. I wonder, like, if they're really in production. That's just my simple...
No, this is really early. Like, we have no clue where this is at. Like, this is like he pitched the idea.
He's like, hey, I could do a movie about this. Yes.
Yeah, we're there.
God. So,
yeah.
Okay, this could
So this could be multiple years out. It will be multiple years out.
Let me tell you exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen right now. Next week, we're going to be here on What's Up Weirdlings, and we're going to be like, yeah, Miyazaki's not doing the thing.
No, wait, this isn't Batman.
Oh, really?
This isn't Batman.
Because you know what happened in Batman?
Oh, yeah. What happened in Batman?
Freaking Batman movies. I'm so tired. Matt Reeves is directing the Batman movie.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Matt Reeves.
Good on you, Matt Reeves.
Way to go.
I'm really glad that that's happening for you. I'm glad that
you finally decided that this was...
thing.
Yep. All right.
Yep. Batman. Sponsor fishing.
Sponsor fishing?
That's all we're going to say about Batman, because we are going to move on to sponsor fishing.
Yeah, we are moving on to sponsor fishing, because that was good.
Because Batman.
I mean, really, Yep, no, this is not a Batman film. No. Miyazaki, no. Okay, but we might still come back next week with Miyazaki news.
Maybe.
Hoping not. Sponsor fishing.
This week, we should be sponsored by Gita.
Did you ever want to have your stuff, like, traveled with you on a random round robot? Did you ever get tired of carrying a backpack? Did you ever just want, like, a giant robot the size of a small child to roll behind you with all of your nonsense?
That is the best sales pitch ever. So, that was amazing.
Then you want a Gita.
The Gita.
The Gita will follow you as a big blue ball.
And I think it can also just like run errands for you too. Like you can program it to go somewhere, it'll just go somewhere, or it'll follow you.
I know it'll follow you. If I programmed my Gita to run to the grocery store, get dropped off, and come back, I don't trust that it's gonna make it back.
Yeah, I'm kind of not, honestly. Look, we want you to look. If you sponsor us, Gita, we'll pack our gear into it. We're Scarlet. We'll do more remote shoots. Oh, conferences. Could you imagine it like carrying all of your gear with you? That would actually be kind of cool. Wandering out a con with that.
Oh, because it's like armored, or not armored, but it's like it's hardcore. It's hardcore. It's hardcore. I give up on words today. No. Gita, please fish sponsor for us.
I really, honestly, I kind of wonder, like, when I'm in an airport and I've got somebody with a rolly bag that's dragging that rolly bag behind them, I just want to kick that freaking rolly bag out of the way. I'm really wondering if I'm going to have that same feeling if there's a Gita, like, trailing behind somebody. I'm like, get out of the way. I wonder.
And it's just going to go beep, 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 boop.
Boop, boop, boop. Like, R2-D2!
Don't you sass me.
Oh my God. I don't know. But Gita, we would love to have you with your sponsorship. You know, we'll go to stuff.
Yeah.
We'll do things.
PFF
like
is a company started in order to
Let's do the
put
hype
together
train.
different cultures.
I'm going to go over my hype train first. You know what my hype train is?
What's your hype train?
My hype train is a new Netflix movie that's coming out soon called Bright. I had no idea that this was even a thing until this morning. And then I saw a trailer that they premiered last night at the Academy Awards, which I missed it. They did a teaser trailer for Bright last night at the Academy Awards. Basically, Will Smith is an LA cop with an orc partner as they fight against people who are trying to find illegal magic or something like that. I'm not even sure of the plot, but Will Smith, LAPD, orc partner, magic. I mean, what else do we really need in this? I think this would be cool. The other thing about this is I didn't realize what a huge bidding war was on for this script. This script had multiple bidders that were trying to get it into production. Netflix won. David Ayers, who just directed Suicide Squad, regardless of your opinion about Suicide Squad, David Ayers, who just did that, is directing this. This film, I think the total budget for this film was $80-90 million. This is a legit, like, big budget, blockbuster thing with Will Smith as a cop with an orc partner. I don't even know how this pitch made it through, honestly, but I'm excited about it.
Bad orcs. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
It really is this weird mashup of like, I mean, talking to you earlier, I was thinking it was like Bad Boys meets Dungeons and Dragons, but this looks grittier than Bad Boys. I don't think Will Smith has got that same kind of attitude. And he's got this rusty broadsword and everything in the trailer. I don't even know what to expect, but it's got to be cool.
My hype train, I'm super excited, which might be inspired by last night's Fiasco session just a little bit. If you didn't watch last night's Fiasco session, you missed out, and the archive will come out at some point. It'll be out soon-ish. So trust me, it's gonna be good. Either case, my hype is that Jet Li, with jetli.com, is doing a series of videos called like The Hero Within, and these videos are focusing on martial artists in different fields. So we've got like, you know, a Taekwondo person and a person who does stunt martial arts and all kinds of stuff, and that focuses on one of these people in the martial arts realm and shows like what they do and how they do it and how to be excited about martial arts or how to get into it. And he's promising to try and bring like the martial arts world together to discuss about the different practices of martial arts. And it almost feels like he's trying to turn jetli.com into like a social network for martial artists. And I'm excited about this. The film productions look amazing, like really well done, like amazingly well done. And now I know that jetli.com exists. So there you go. Just added a new blog for me to watch. I'm really excited about this.
Because you don't have enough blogs to watch.
I don't, but you know, I just need one more hobby, including martial arts.
One more hobby on top of everything else. Why not martial arts?
I miss my martial arts stuff.
I didn't know you did martial arts.
Oh, yeah. So that's where this really comes down to. This comes down to the fact that when I was younger, I was in Taekwondo, and then when I went to college, I did some MMA stuff, and I have a deep love.
You got a deep love for the martial arts.
Yeah.
The closest I ever did was Krav Maga, and I did a lot of Krav Maga.
I need to do Krav Maga. I have not done Krav Maga. I've heard it's real vicious.
It is vicious, and I loved it. And can't you tell that I am a vicious person? There is so much viciousness here.
It's under the surface, which is why he went to Krav Maga.
Beautiful. There's a story about this. The teachers at Krav Maga gave me the nickname the Tooth Fairy.
Oh gosh.
May have happened.
No!
May have happened.
Vicious.
May have happened where my knee may have clocked a guy in the face and his teeth went flying all over the gym.
I had a bad nickname in Taekwondo, but that's because everyone I sparred with would run into my foot with their groins.
With their groins?
And it was not a fun time. I don't know why. I was very careful. I always pulled my kicks in Taekwondo, but everyone I sparred against I accidentally racked, and it was not good. They ran into it. It was not me.
It was not you.
No, because I don't do that. That's so mean.
See, it's very interesting that your problem was they were running into it. My problem was the guy was backing away from my knee.
Oh, yeah.
That was the problem. If you're sparring, don't do that. Anyways, this doesn't make
sense. That's probably actually how they ran into it, honestly, because I would be aiming for like their thigh, and they would be moving away.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Okay, we got to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Enough about our past. We don't need to talk
MMA
about our martial artist failures anymore, but GoJetli.com.
Yeah, that's a thing.
There's a lot of hype going on, but we're going to call it a day because we've got our hype train, we've got our sponsor things, we've talked about all this stuff. We want to hear what you think about the stuff, so make sure you leave us comments and stuff. You can hit us up on the Twitters, and do all the things over there.
Discord?
Discords, yeah, do our Discords as well. Go to our Discord, join our Discord, and leave comments in there. We'll have some discussions going on about the stuff, but I'd love to hear what you think about all the things that we're talking about and all the things we should talk about in the future. But other than that, I think that we are going to call it a night unless you have something else to say.
No, that's it for me tonight.
Then we're going to get out of here. As always, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Bye.
Good